Libra, happy birthday. This is your October forecast for 2016. And the main focus this month for you is yourself. Okay, the sun is cruising through that first house, which is all about you, your personality, your needs as opposed to the needs of others. So you're extra radiant right now, and I'd like to say congratulations with Jupiter now having moved into your sign here last month. There in September, you're going to have Jupiter with you and her beautiful energy for a whole year, where you're going to see not only are you going to blossom, you're going to be expanding your personality and those things that are important to you. You might even just come to travel a whole lot more too, as Jupiter loves to go out towards the world, right? So could be long distance journeys as well as just getting out and about. Now, we want to look for opportunities that are coming up here this year until now, and that of late summer next year. The sun here for you will be staying it moves into your second house for money and income, where the new moon and Venus currently is. So Venus here in October is allowing you to look at the money that you're receiving, the money that you're making. Is it good? Do you need more? How can you actually now crunch numbers to make it work for you? Every once a year, Venus, which rules this area of finances, is in your financial house, and you're going to feel it stronger this month for whatever the reason is, because we also have the new moon that can bring new things to the table. But that's not before October 30th, so that's the end of the month. But at least now you know where that new moon is going to come in. Venus has moved out of this area here on the 18th. But it's laid the grounds and carved the path, so by the time that your new moon is in there, you should come to see that something is already put down and prepared for you. When Venus moves into your third house after the 18th, you will come to see how she is antsy. She's happy-go-lucky. It's in the sign now of Sagittarius. You might feel the need to be out and about a little bit more. There could be more communication coming in, time being spent with siblings. The third house has to do with your neighborhood too, so you might be more socially interactive with them as well. Now, Venus wants always to secure what is good, what is proper, especially when it comes up with Saturn, which it's not going to be meeting up with before the very end of the month. But the journey up towards that Saturn is you looking at, what do I need to do? How can I improve my social interactions with, like I said, the neighborhood community, or also being of support to your siblings? You'll see how that's going to come into play. And you're going to do a good job. Why? Because Venus is your ruler. So you feel that more than people most, right? We have Mars this month transiting through Capricorn, and Capricorn is our will to succeed. Think about those mountain goats, they will climb up to those high peaks, and that's what I see you doing this month here, Libra. And the area that will be in focus for you is all about home. Home, home, home. Projects that you're doing. It could be family. Family members are going to be more so important. But it's the foundation of your life that you're wanting to change or transform in some way or shape. And this is also because Pluto is in your home area. And that's been slowly transforming over these last few years, project at a time. And every 2 years, when Mars comes into this area, then you get this really, urge to get at it again, a new major project. So you can come to see how October here is going to be absolutely beautiful for it. You are excited, you're energetic, and I see how you really are getting involved with it personally. Even if you have people doing this work for you, you are right on top of it. Then we have the full moon this month is going to be on the 15th, which is for you, Libra, showing up in your partnership house. So this will be a time when you and your significant other, if you have one, if you're single, well, then you're going to be feeling it. Maybe the longing for a partner, especially strong here under this full moon, since it is in the area of relationships. But there might be a surprise leading into the following day, into the 16th, because the moon is still pretty much full. It is going to be passing over Uranus. Uranus brings unexpected surprises, right? So you could say those 2 days are going to be quite important. But here we have on the 1st, it is a beautiful transit of Venus and Neptune. Venus is love and Neptune is the higher octave of Venus. So you can see it's very romantic. It's fine-tuned for fine wine, dinner, music, dancing, whatever it is. But you will feel it super strong, and especially here because it is in your 2nd house of self-esteem and values, and triggering over to Neptune in that 6th house that's wanting to do something different from your day-to-day routine. So this might just be a beautiful evening out in town. Then we have on the 5th, I see that you're structuring something here, making something work. And this might just be a very important conversation that you might have with either a supervisor, but it could also be a sibling that's needing your support, or maybe you're getting support also from a sibling, because it's between your 1st house and the 3rd house. That's you and then the sibling ring, right? And on the 5th, though, through the 7th, a little bit of stress, and it is because Mars and Jupiter, they're kind of butting heads. Mars wants one thing, and then Jupiter wants something else, and you might not be able to see eye to eye quite yet. Maybe this has to do with the projects that you're working on. Maybe you want it a certain way and your partner another way, or it could be with one of the service people, right? But it could be also, and let's not forget this, it could very well also be a situation with one of your parents that might come into maybe a problem-solving situation that you might need to take some stance on as well. So for a couple of days there, you might be a little back and forth on that. But then we have joy solution coming in on the 11th. I feel that you're ready to be up and running. You are joyful. Something has solved itself. You're good to go. And now Mercury has moved out of your 12th house where it has been, which rules our subconsciousness. It also rules institutions. And so say if you have a parent in an institution, while this is ongoing there on the 5th and the 7th, that might just be what's being brought up to the forefront. And of course it doesn't go for all of you, but for those of you Libras that might have a parent there, that might just very well be the case. But rest assured, on the 11th, solution is coming in. I feel there's an agreement that you can work with. I see movement to something that is more ideal. We also have a very creative streak here at 11th through the 14th, where you're feeling very motivated. You seem to be very active as well, reaching for those things that are important. I also see you on the phone a lot, so it might be catching up with those in need to know. And on the 14th, Saturn and Mars are together. Now, this is a beautiful aspect of you anchoring and securing. That's what we always need to think about when it comes to Saturn. And Saturn being in this area of communication, I feel that you're locking in movement of something that now is extremely important to you. On the 15th, yes, we do have that full moon. We spoke about it. And talking about moons now, let me just also catch you up on these two icons down below the video, the Astro Weekly and the Tarot Weekly. For those of you listening to this on your PC's monitor screen, you can simply just click on it. It will take you automatically there. Doesn't matter what time in the month you happen to listen to this and go there, it updates since it's on a playlist. So they upload every Sunday mornings, okay? So, but it's good because that calendar you get on the Astro Weekly is more what I would call your emotional weather forecast. Why? Because the moon is involved, and the moon has so much more to say than what we can do on a monthly basis here, because we would be talking for hours with all of those intricate meet-ups that it has with the planets. So here we typically just speak about, the new moon and the full moon, but yeah, you get a whole lot different information on the weekly. So yeah, and if you're not on a monitor and you are, for example, listening on your phone, well, then you can find the link in the description below the video and find it there, all right? But we're continuing because we're talking about you feeling so motivated and on top of things there around the 14th. But say on the 25th, we have Venus and Neptune butting heads, and there could be a disappointment coming our way. Something we've been looking forward to, something we had hopes on. It might just slide. Because why? Well, think about Neptune. Ruling water, which is our emotions. It rules the oceans. And try to hold the ocean, some water in your hand. It's there now, and then it just simply seeps through, right? It dissolves. So something that you were anticipating with love and joy, that will be now set aside, but don't let it disappoint you too much, because already the next day, Jupiter is going to come in and kiss and make up and really bring not just the same situation, it could be an improved, even better solution or situation. So the 26th is great when Venus and Jupiter do the dance. And of course here for you, that will be between your first and your third house. So that's something you're going to feel very personally. We have on the 28th, we want to be a little bit careful in traffic and whatnot, or also people might be a little short-tempered. Mars and Uranus are butting heads, and I like to call that aspect for the earthquake aspect. And the earth moves, when there's been enough friction and then suddenly something gives. But it's not just Mother Earth and her tectonic plates, it's also our human psyche going through tectonic shifts at times when there is frustration building up and then suddenly it just snaps. We can see snapping situations like this. Now, even our technology can go through these tectonic frictions. When, for example, your computer stops working, the software won't do what it needs to do, the microwave suddenly gives out, because Uranus rules everything technology, right? And the energy of Mars, sometimes we feel maybe it's our frustration that's kind of carrying over to the computers, but listen, everything upon the planet will be feeling the influence from outside between Mars and Uranus. So everything is affected. So yes, it's not just us affecting the computer or vice versa. It's like all of the above. We just want to be careful in traffic, since Mars is our actions and our drive. We might not be paying attention because our mind might be ticking, trying to figure out who snapped on who earlier in the day. You know what I mean? So just calm yourself. Just be aware. Then we have on the 29th here, we're getting close to the end of the month, and this is Venus and Saturn wanting to secure something of either a financial situation, a contract, and if so, it has longevity, because Saturn's always looking for the long term of everything. And this is coming together for you here in the sign of Sagittarius in your third house. So if you're having a presentation, for example, then you'll be very good at what you're doing, and it will be very well received, and there could be things coming from it in the aftermath of it as well. Then we have, as we mentioned earlier, we have the full moon in your 7th house for relationships on the 30th. And then before I let you go, happy Halloween, because Halloween this year is going to be great. We got the moon, we got Mars and Pluto involved, and they are sextiling, so that is a good aspect, a harmonious aspect. It's going to bring more, I'd like to say, that the gory to it, because both Mars and Pluto, they're very masculine, right? And they're very dramatic, so I can see costumes being very much more dramatic this year, as opposed to, say, if it was Venus and Neptune, but then we'd have all the fairies and the godmothers and whatnot, that kind of costumes. But here it's more, yeah, the gory, the spooky Halloween type night. So listen, this is what I have for you now. We'll go to your Astro Weekly, and then thereafter to your Tarot Weekly, and I'll see you now in November. Have a good one, Libra.